Hi, today we are going to be taking the idea of a chemical clock one step further by adding a bit of a twist to it. But before we get to that, for the first time ever, roll the intro. In this video, the original plan was to set up 3 different chemical clocks, changing at the exact same time in 3 different colours. This was to be an example of a Landolt's clock. However, nothing happened. So in a panic, I added more. Nothing happened. In a final panic, I then put everything into one large flask in the hopes that anything at all of interest would happen with this. Once again, nothing. I'm not entirely sure what went wrong, whether it was an issue with the reagents or a misinterpretation of the procedure. But either way, these things happen in science, and the only thing to do is deal with it like a dignified adult scientist. And then move on to Plan B, a different sort of chemical clock with a twist. For this one, we first need to crush up a 1 gram vitamin C tablet, whilst also taking out my annoyance of the situation. This is then added into a beaker, and hot water is poured on top. We'll call this Solution A. We then mix up Solution B. For this we begin with 60 milliliters of hot water and then add a teaspoon of Solution A and stir thoroughly. And we'll return to this shortly. But we now prepare Solution C. For this one, we once again begin with 60 milliliters of hot water, and then we add a tablespoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide, and then a teaspoon of starch solution and stir. We then go back to Solution B, We now need to add a teaspoon of Lugol's iodine solution and stir this in. The colour of the iodine solution quickly dissipates. This is because the iodine is being converted into two colourless iodide molecules as it reacts with the vitamin C. It's now time for us to combine solutions B and C. As we do so, the solution changes to a dark blue in less than 1 second as iodine is reacting with the starch. A very quick chemical clock. But what is novel about this clock reaction is that it's an example of a reversible iodine clock. If we crush up a second vitamin C tablet and pour that in, the colour begins to change once again as the vitamin C is converting iodine into colourless iodide molecules, just like what we saw earlier. And before long, all that remains is the yellow-orange colour of the vitamin C tablet. And sadly that does bring us to the end. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and please do share, like and subscribe, and tune in next week. But aside from that, thank you very much once again, and carry on learning. Bye!